encountered. This wasn't just a murder. It was an act of unspeakable evil committed against a child whose only crime had been her desire to honor her teacher with a simple gift. Word of the discovery spread quickly through Hazleton. In a community where everyone knew everyone else, news traveled fast. Carmen Chiricella was still searching around St. Joseph's Church when a passerby, unaware of the devastating news they were delivering, casually mentioned that they'd found the Chiricella girl dead. Can you imagine? Can you even begin to imagine hearing in a casual conversation that your child is gone? The words hit Carmen like a physical blow. The father, who had been desperately hoping to find his daughter safe, was now facing every parent's worst nightmare. Back at the knitting mill, Mary Chiricella was experiencing something that could only be described as a mother's intuition. Even before she received the devastating news, she was overcome with a horrible sense of anxiety. Something was wrong, terribly, terribly wrong. She knew it in her bones before anyone said a word. The discovery of Maurice's body didn't just end one family's agonizing search. It shattered the innocence of an entire community. Hazleton in 1964 was a place where children could play outside, where you could leave your doors unlocked, where the most serious crimes were minor thefts and domestic disputes. Now it held the brutal murder of a 9-year-old girl. As news spread throughout the town, parents began calling their children home early from school. The unthinkable had happened. A child had been murdered in their safe, quiet community. The streets that had seemed so familiar and secure just hours before now felt different, dangerous, filled with shadows and possibilities that no one had previously imagined. The initial investigation was thorough and immediate. Pennsylvania State Police descended on the scene with every available resource, understanding that in cases involving child murder, the first 48 hours are crucial. They carefully documented the crime scene, collected evidence, and began the painstaking process of trying to understand what had happened to Maurice. Now, here's something important. The evidence was both extensive and haunting. The killer had been careless, leaving behind crucial clues. DNA evidence was collected from Maurice's clothing, specifically semen stains and pubic hair. But here's the thing you need to understand. In 1964, DNA analysis was still decades away from being invented. These pieces of evidence were carefully preserved without anyone understanding their future significance. The investigation expanded rapidly throughout Hazleton and the surrounding area. Police interviewed hundreds of people, following up on every single lead, every suggestion, every possibility. They spoke to neighbors, teachers, store owners, anyone who might have seen Maurice on her final walk to school.